How y'all doing? It's still Friday, baby, so keep up with the B&B going there. It's a good time to use that right now because, boy, howdy shit, did you see that press conference? Boy, well, the press conference, it was just two world leaders standing on the stage making statements. Boy, howdy shit, yep, the meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donnie the Dick. uh, just ended, and they both came out on stage to make statements, and Putin went first. Yeah, boy, howdy shit, Putin went first, and sat there and he talked about the relationship, past history between the United States and Russia, and monuments and burial sites and all that stuff. Man, had a nice cohesive little discussion and talking about basically the relationship between the United States and until he got to that part where he said that, talking about the Ukraine war, where he said if Donald Trump would have been president, there wouldn't have been a war. Yeah, boy, howdy shit, what? Now I wonder just what Donnie had to give up to get those words to come out of Putin's mouth. That played right into Donnie's. That's what Donnie's been saying. Oh, if I'd been president, there wouldn't have been a war. He also said they'd end the war on day one, and he's given Putin, I don't know, 20 deadlines, and I'm gonna do. It's a bunch of bullshit. But Putin played it off well, and then came Donnie's turn. I have a big problem with Trump. Every time he speaks, he says nothing. He just listened to the president of Russia give a cohesive statement, paragraphs that meant stuff, and tied it all together and whatnot. And what do we get out of our president's mouth? A bunch of bullshit. Well, there's not a deal until there's a deal. Yeah, that's what he's been saying all his freaking life. It's just the same just the same pitch. He says nothing. We talked about some things, and there were some things that we talked about, and I'm going to call some people, and we're going to get with those people, and it's just a string of bullshit. Everything that comes out of that man's mouth, and it's embarrassing. As an American, sitting out here and listening to two world leaders, and one of them just is a babbling idiot. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. His handlers, his advisors will straighten his ass out behind the scenes or whatnot. But no, there was not a deal made. And I'm glad to hear that, because there's no deal to be made without Zelensky in the room. So I guess Donnie's going to call Zelensky and, I don't know, try to sell him on, well, we're going to give up some land or some shit, instead of being the man that America needs and to stand up against Putin, to make this a referendum on his ass, not on America, not on Ukraine, but on Russia's ass. They're the ones that invaded Ukraine. Boy, howdy shit. Anyway, it was a lot of hubbub blue blue about nothing. So you can expect a whole bunch of blubbering bullshit to come out of the White House about it, but baby, there was nothing done. It was a dog and pony show. But Donnie gave up something for Russia to say, for Putin to say on the world stage that, oh, there wouldn't have been a war if you'd been president. Yeah, there's a price for that one, baby, and I just wonder what it is. Anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of your Friday. I won't bother you again. Y'all take care. We'll see you later. Bye.